Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I vlogged on YouTube, but because of all the business of life, I didn't get around to it for a while. But since now we're all on lockdown, we all have free time here in all around the world because of coronavirus. I'm just like, might as well get back to it. And besides, this is the video that I was meaning to do a while ago, but never really got around to it. So I opened my channel last year. I lived in Uganda for almost a year doing missionary work. For the last 4 months of 2018 and the first 6 months of 2019, I'm back in Ireland now for a good while, almost a year working. So I felt like this is a good time to do a review of my experiences in Uganda, both the good and the bad, and just give some advice for anyone who's ever thinking of going over there, whether to visit or to move there. Now, I was supposed to do this video ages ago, but anyway, better late than never. So I want to focus on the pros and the cons and give some travel tips. Now I'm an optimist, so I'm going to first focus on the cons, get the negatives out of the way, and then just focus on the positives. So in terms of negatives, first of all, the roads over here in this country are underdeveloped. They are not so good. Very few tarmac roads around Uganda. It's normally the cities or the towns, like the town centres. Throughout most of the country, roads are not great and it gives problems to transport, both public and private. And it causes delays in traffic and more road accidents. And also, if you're walking along the roads, there'll be a lot of dust and it will dirty your shoes and trousers a lot, which is not great. Like, you've probably seen some of these roads in some of my previous videos. Timekeeping is another big challenge over there in that culture. Now, this is generally around Africa. Like, African timing is a common phrase there in Africa because people are not great at keeping time. People normally show up late to what they plan to go to. Okay, like if it's business events, like that's not really so great. Like for parties, for social events, it's normal, but for business events, it's still happens there, and you have to be patient over there. Privacy also very neglected in that culture. It's very difficult to get time on your own, very difficult to do your own thing. It's normal there for people to just look into what you're doing on your phone or what you're doing on your computer or even just what you're reading. I suppose there isn't much cons, there isn't much negatives, but if you're coming from a Western country or from a developed country into that country, then you probably have to learn to get used to things like taking cold showers because the water is cold almost everywhere, and you probably would have a washing machine if you're going to be there for some time, so you have to learn to hand wash your own clothes. And also, you'll probably only be getting meats like once or twice a week. But yeah, there isn't much negatives. The positives definitely outweigh the negatives in this country. So first of all, in terms of the pros, hospitality is a big thing over there in that culture. People there are very welcoming. Even if you come into that country like a stranger, people treat you like a brother or like a sister. They welcome you to your house with whatever they have, even if it's not much. So you feel very welcome in that country. They're very good at practicing hospitality. And of course, prices are cheaper for everything in that country. Like, cost of living is a lot less compared to most countries. So you find yourself in a way saving money when you're over there, or at least it feels like you are. Because even when I think about it, some things in Ireland over here that I pay €10 for could be around €2 there when you convert the currency there to euros. So life is cheaper over there, and that's a good thing. Another good thing is the weather. It's great, like it's Africa, it's hot. You want to go out in t-shirts and in shorts most of the time. Big difference to here in Ireland where you have to go out wearing a jacket for most of the year. And I suppose nature there is also very beautiful. You really see like a lot of nice scenery there. Even in some of the towns like Arua town in northern Uganda where I was for a while, and Ginger town down in southern Uganda near the Lake Victoria where I've also stayed for the last few months. There's some nice tropical views over there, and sometimes it feels like you're on a tropical island in Uganda. Not to mention all the safaris you can go on as well, including in Murchison Falls National Park where I went on the safari and it was great. So yeah, I'd say go on the safari if you have time while you're over there. And I suppose in terms of positives, the food there is also great, but one food in particular I have to mention is chapatis. Now chapati is this kind of naan bread that you find all around Uganda. It's very nice, very addictive. It's actually Indian, because there used to be a couple of Indians, like a big group of Indians living there in East Africa, but even after they left, their food stayed on, and chapati became very popular there around Uganda, and there's even some street food called Rolex that's made using chapati. Rolex is basically an omelette made however you want with tomatoes, onions, peppers, spices, and then that omelette is wrapped up with chapati, and then like you eat it like a roll. So yeah, it's a Rolex. Very popular street food, very addictive for us foreigners who come there. So yeah, a lot of great things about Uganda, but also while you're over there, it's good to know the culture a bit, just to help you to make good relationships with the native people over there. So it's good to have some cultural advice. First advice to give for culture is that greetings is a big thing over there. When you meet people or when you haven't seen someone for a while and you see them again, greeting is important. It can be rude not to greet. Normally done with a handshake. Of course, this is before COVID-19 and after COVID-19. But yeah, greetings are big over there. And in that culture, when you're going to occasions or when you're going to meet someone, it is better to overdress than to underdress. For example, if you're going to church there or going to a party or even going to meet someone that you haven't met before, or your friend is inviting you to go to your family, you're better off dressing up smarter than you normally would. I know the weather there can be hot and you are not to just be wearing t-shirts, just be wearing shorts, but sometimes on occasion you have to make a sacrifice of just wearing long trousers, long smart trousers instead of shorts, just to dress up smart, just to fit into their culture and just to not offend anybody. Speaking of offense, when you're offered food there, even if you don't like the way of the food looks, even if it looks very, very different to what you normally eat, it can be rude to reject the food without trying it. Like people get offended when you don't try their food, but they appreciate when you try what they've given them. After all, you can't judge food by what it looks like, so you have to try it first. Of course, if you have any dietary requirements, like if you cannot eat nuts because you're allergic, or if you don't eat meat because you're vegetarian, that's acceptable. But if you have no excuse, just try the food. Even if you don't like it, it's a small sacrifice. And then again, with the whole area of privacy and like them not really having much privacy over there, it's difficult to get time on your own, so don't be offended, don't be annoyed if people don't leave you alone. It can be difficult for you to just go into town and just do your own thing. People always feel like they have to go with you somewhere. People don't like to leave someone alone over there, so if people are following you, don't get annoyed. It's just normal for them. Now, it's good to have some travel tips just before you go there, just so that you can organize yourself and you can take care of your health over there because there's some health issues, not much, but some. So it's good to be prepared. First of all, to prepare for malaria and mosquitoes because there's a lot of mosquitoes all around Uganda, a lot of malaria all around the place. So you have to make sure you always take your malaria tablets every day. Just take one a day. You can buy them in any country before you get there. But if you're going to be there for a while in Uganda, like for at least a few months, you have to find your local shop where they sell the tablets and get them. And also sleep with a mosquito net. Now these are important because malaria is not a great disease to have. I never got it, thank God. But I know someone who got it over there for the first time and it was not a pleasant experience. So you're better off preventing it. And also, if you have any plans to go into any remote rural places like villages or refugee camps when you're there, make sure you bring water purification tablets just to put into your water when you're drinking because some of the water in these villages that you get might not be the most clean basically. Like the water is normally like chlorinated before you drink it, but sometimes it might not have been treated well enough in these very remote, very rural places. So it's good to bring your own water tablets just to be on the safe side. Now, I never brought these water tablets, and sometimes the water I was drinking in the villages did not look so convincing to drink. It didn't look so drinkable, but lucky for me, I got no serious sickness while I was over there. But still, you're better off not risking it. And by the way, if you're going to go up to northern Uganda, be prepared for hotter weather over there. Now the weather all around Uganda is pretty hot, but it's hotter in northern Uganda compared to the rest of Uganda, so be prepared if you go in there. Plenty of sun cream. Just take care of yourself. And I suppose again to speak with your valuables because of crime, especially theft. If you're outside during the late hours, keep your valuables like phones, money, wallet out of sight, out of people's reach. Now, I said I had a story earlier. I went back to Uganda for a holiday early this year, February, before coronavirus got out of hand. And on the way back to the airport, after the end of my holiday, after about a week and a half back over there, I was on my phone on a taxi bus going back to the airport on a window seat. The window was open, we were in a traffic jam, and someone just snatched my phone from outside the window and just ran away. Now, like, I've gotten over it by now, of course, and I got a new phone. About time for a new phone as well. But still, like, crime is common over there, so you're better off just keeping your valuables to yourself, out of sight when you're around people in the late hours, because thieves are all around the place. So, and also, one other thing about travel advice, travel tips is that people may try and overcharge you when you're a foreigner or when you say that you're a foreigner. People in the shops, people who give public transport, they may try and charge you a bit more than what they normally charge. Now, people do argue it sometimes, so it's normal to try and argue with them to lower the prices. But the reality is, if you're coming from a Western country, it's still not as much as what you normally pay in your own country. So even if they overcharge you, it's not a big loss. I suppose communication is key as well because English is spoken all around Uganda. Like most people in the country speak English, but still it's good to be able to know the differences in how they use English because they have their own phrases, they have their own Ugandan English. So if you can speak some of the Ugandan English, it helps with communication between you and them. So just a brief lesson on Ugandan English. The first word I want to give is Muzungu, which is not even English, it's Swahili, but it's used all around Uganda. It basically means white person. If a white person goes into a community in Uganda where there are not normally white people and they see them, like the kids will be like, Muzungu, Muzungu. So it means white person, it's used all around Uganda, and it's not even just for white person, it can basically just mean like a foreigner, someone who's coming from outside Africa, because even with my accent, when they hear it, some of them think of me as Muzungu, or at least they say that I sound like a Muzungu. So that word is used all around Uganda, so it's good to know what it means. Now, for some phrases that are used there in Ugandan and English, when somebody says to you to extend when you're on a couch or on a seat on the bus, extend means to move over or to make room. When someone talks about giving you their balance, they mean to give you the change from money. Or when someone wants to go for a short call, they're not making a phone call. Short call means to go to use the toilet. If you ask someone a question and they say it's okay, it means yes. And then somehow can mean kind of, like it is somehow good, it's kind of good. And then if someone hasn't seen you for a while, they might say, well, be back, which means welcome back, or you are lost, which means we have missed you. So these are some Ugandan phrases that only people who have spent time in Uganda or people from Uganda would understand. I suppose it's normal just having like different phrases, different slangs of English. English differs all around the world. Here in Ireland, we have some Irish slang that only people in Ireland would get, or even in Nigeria, where I'm originally from, we have our Nigerian dialect of English called Pidgin English or Nigerian English, which only the natives over there would be able to speak. It's like a dialect, it's like broken English, it's mixed up. Some words you understand, some words you don't understand. Basically, English differentiates all around the world with different slangs, different dialects, different meanings of different words or phrases. So it's normal. And I'm sure if you travel around the world in different places, you get used to the different English. So I feel like I've covered a lot about Uganda. I've covered a lot about my experiences there, both the good and the bad. I've given some good travel tips. Now, like, Uganda is a lovely country in East Africa. I still have love for that country, despite my phone being taken away on my holiday over there. But still, I have a lot of good memories from when I lived there last year. It's a good mission field for anyone who has interest in mission work or that kind of charity work. And it's a good tourist destination as well. I'll definitely go back again sometime in the future after all this coronavirus is over. And hopefully I'll travel around some more countries, some more different parts of the world when we're all finished with COVID-19. That's one of the main reasons I'm looking forward to COVID-19 being over. But I guess for now, the best thing we can do is just pray and stay safe and just hope that it'll all be over soon. But anyway, thanks for watching this video up to this long. Give a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and then just stay safe and until next time.